So the Richland County Sheriff's Department in South Carolina says it has charged the first person under a new county hate crime ordinance. Jonathan Felkel, 33 years old, arrested July 25th, which was a Thursday. He was charged with assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature. There was a possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and he violated the county's hate crime ordinance, according to Richland County court records. Felkel was taken to the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center and scheduled to have a bond hearing on Friday. His first court appearance is scheduled for September 26, 2025. And Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott said Friday that Felkel, who was white, is accused of firing a gun at a black man who was jogging in the Spring Valley area the morning of July 17th. Lott said the victim was out jogging around 6 in the morning when Felkel allegedly pulled up in his car, fired a gun, and made derogatory statements toward the victim. You cannot make this stuff up, but I'm glad they got it on video. So Sheriff Lott played a security video of the incident to reporters on Friday. The video shows a dark-colored BMW car that pulls up to a gate. A person in the driver's seat can be seen reaching for what appears to be a long gun and then firing that weapon one time out of his driver's side window. A person yelling can be heard in the video as the driver exits through the gates. So this man was so threatened by this black man who was jogging and minding his own business that he shot at him trying to kill him. It makes you wonder how many demons these people have in them for them to want to do something so crazy to try and kill somebody who's literally minding their own business simply because they're black. Felkel allegedly yelled at the victim, "Keep on running, boy," after firing the gun. So how is he allegedly yelling at the victim? Either he did or he didn't, because if you have video, you can clearly see whether he did it or he didn't do it. You can hear it whether he did it or he didn't do it. So the fact that they keep saying alleged, to me, is suspicious. Either he yelled at him or he didn't. A provided incident report said that the victim said he was shot at and that Felkel fired a shot into the air. Lott said both Felkel and the victim live in Spring Valley. He said the victim and Felkel, however, did not know each other and never had an encounter before July 17th. So if you don't know this person, why are you shooting at them other than the fact that they're black? Keep on running, boy. The man is running, minding his own business. He's not running from Felkel until Felkel pulls out the gun. But the fact that Felkel couldn't have just drove and minded his own business, he had to stop and try and shoot it. That just shows you how crazy some of these people are. Lott said the suspect saw a black man running in the neighborhood and said, "I'm going to shoot him." And that's what he said. That's from his statements, is that he was shooting just because he saw a black man. You know, I've heard so many times black immigrants say that African Americans always talk about race. Hello, there's a reason. In a police interview with Felkel, the sheriff Lott said that Felkel went into pretty great detail. So apparently Felkel is proud of what he was trying to do, which was unalive that innocent black man who was literally minding his own business. The Richland County Sheriff's Department said in a statement that Felkel made several comments that the purpose of the shooting was to strike fear in the victim due to his race. So Felkel, you couldn't just go up to him man to man. You had to use a gun to strike some type of fear. That shows you the level of insecurity that Felkel had to try and pull out a gun instead of just simply going up to the man and fighting, fist to fist, like a man who isn't afraid to fight would do. But to pull out a gun, anybody's going to run from a gun. But if you're a real man, you would have gone up to him and offered to fight him man to man, unless you're scared. Only cowards pull out guns at a fist fight. So this is what Felkel says. So I went down there and I seen a man standing in the bushes. It was a black man in a white shirt, just standing out there at 4 in the morning. And I saw him there and he was by himself. So I was really going to do something at first. And then, Felkel said, according to the sheriff's department statement. What do you mean by that? The sheriff asked him as he was investigating. And Felkel, apparently proud of what happened, he said, "Well, I was going to shoot at him. I was going to shoot at him," Felker responded. The sheriff's department said, it just, what's crazy is the level of confidence these people have in their actions, but they're not confident in themselves. Because if they were confident in themselves, that black man never would have been a threat anyway. You wouldn't have had the need to pull out a gun. He's minding his own business. You felt inferior to that man and you wanted to alleviate your inferiority complex, but it had nothing to do with that man. The issue was you. So anyway, the sheriff Lott said, "It's fortunate the victim was not hit by the shot." The suspect actually said in his interview that initially he was going to shoot him, but he didn't, Lott said. And again, he was shooting solely based on the race of the victim. So America was really big on a hate crime for Asians, but we don't have one for black people, and we seem to need it the most. But anyway, violating the county's hate intimidation ordinance is a misdemeanor, which carries a penalty of a $500 fine or up to 30 days in jail. Locke said Felkel's weapons charge carries a greater penalty. This is attempted murder. But Sheriff Lott said he hopes that tacking on the hate crime charge sends a message to the community that you can and will be arrested if you commit a crime based solely on hate and race. So, Richland County is the first South Carolina county to pass a hate intimidation ordinance. There are several municipalities that have passed similar ordinances. Richland County, passed back in June, makes it a crime to cause fear, harm, or inflict damage to a person or their property based on their race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or disability. South Carolina is one of 2 states without a hate crime law. South Carolina is the South. It was a slave state. A lot of the hatred from the Confederacy is still in South Carolina. They should definitely have a hate crime law. So, Sheriff Lott said, "I don't see any progress, but unfortunately, Richland County Council didn't sit back and they did something very proactively and passed this ordinance." The fact that he said he doesn't see any progress and he's the sheriff, no telling what that man has seen as far as hate crimes go. Lott said, "I see Orangeburg is doing the same thing, so hopefully other counties now will do what we're doing." It's ridiculous. You literally can be unalived simply for being black in America. This has always been this way since we've been over here. We were kidnapped and brought over here. And it continues to be this way. And we have so many people who try and gaslight us as African Americans and say, "Oh no, you're just overreacting. Oh, there's no such thing as racism. That's a thing of the past." But they don't live our experiences. So this is ridiculous that this man, this black man, is out jogging, exercising in the morning to, I guess, better himself as far as his health, maybe his mental health. And from now on, he's probably going to be afraid to go out and do that because he's going to feel like he has to watch his back because some lunatic might try to shoot at him. Who goes jogging in the morning with the fear that someone's going to try and shoot at them because of their skin color? These people need to be put under the jail. So hopefully this man, Felkel, who is really proud of what he has done, hopefully he gets a lot of time because to me, this man he has the potential to be a serial killer. And it's not against his own people, but it's against black people and maybe even other people of color. Who knows, if given the chance. He said he didn't kill him, but he shot at him and he missed. So the reason why he didn't kill him is because he missed. But he had a long gun. He probably had some type of shotgun. These people need to be taken off the street and thrown under the jail. They need the death penalty because they're a problem. And I know that a lot of people who are not black might say, "Oh, well, it's not a big deal. It's an isolated event." It's not isolated. It happens all the time. It happens way more than what they realize, but because they never have to deal with it, it's not a problem for them, but it is a problem for the rest of us. I think they need to make an example out of Felco. And so maybe he won't be so proud and arrogant whenever he goes to jail and he gets a lot of time tacked on. All right, so tell me what you think in the comments section about this whole thing. I'm glad South Carolina did tack on that hate crime for this guy, because this guy is a complete fool. He's an idiot. All right, so put your thoughts in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.